now I'm cutting it out of the tin sheet. I actually traced 2 of them out. And I'm just taking my time cutting them out with my shears here. So these are tin snips, and they're basically scissors that are strong enough, that they could cut through the tin just like a sheet of paper. Still takes a little bit of, hello again, a little bit of elbow grease. I saw you earlier, didn't I?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind, excuse me. Thought I recognized your hat. Anyway, so if I'm making something in here, hello. Sorry, I can't give you that, no, sorry.
Is there a smaller one?
Yeah, I thought, didn't I give you a smaller one earlier? It's
No.
okay. Ah, I did, I knew I did.
No, you didn't.
It's okay.
This is not it, this is
Yeah, I did give you one before, I knew I did.
not it.
So, I knew I recognized you. So, if I'm making one of those like those little kids had, right? I'll take a little square. This is the same way that I make the stars or the lantern or anything else in here, right? Anything with the holes punched in it. Take one of these squares, and I'll take my tools here. I have a mallet and a hole punch, right? And I'll go right to the center of the tin. It's going to be a little bit noisy, that's okay? I'll do it as soft as I can, but the tinsmith shops, you know, in those days, they were not known for their for being silent places. They were pretty noisy, right? People always hammering, always banging, making a ruckus. So you wouldn't really want to be their upstairs neighbor, right? But you would always want one in the neighborhood because all the stuff that they make was so important, right? All the stuff, vessels, candle boxes, all kinds of things, bathtubs, right? Everyday necessities. Stovepipes especially, right? Like these pipes that connect to the wood stoves, those were all made out of tin, all made by tinsmiths. Kind of like the early duct workers, right? So here's a little tin square that I made, a little star on there. And then I could take my piece here and I could run it through this machine. And this one is called an edge crimper, see? When I put it through, it puts this wavy, kind of fancy crimped design along all the edges. Now it's a little bit more shiny and decorative, right? And the same kind of work that I do to make this little square is the same thing we do to make this star, right? I punch the holes out the same way, I mark them out, punch them out the same way that I make this lantern. That's the one here, right? The only difference is to make the lantern, to punch all these holes would take me all day, right? That little square took me a minute, but this would take 10, maybe 12 hours to make. And the lantern here, I have a real flame burning in there, right? And it's kind of like a magic trick. Once I close the door, the lantern won't blow out. The flame of the candle, I could swing it around. I could even blow a lot of wind on it. I could fan wind right on it. And you can see the flame will flicker, but as long as that door is closed, the holes will protect it from blowing out completely. These lanterns are really reliable. That's why sometimes they're even called hurricane lanterns, right? You can take them out even in a hurricane, and they won't extinguish on. Very good. So if you have any questions about anything else in the shop, if you need to know a little bit more about the events that are going on today, or where they are, how to get to them, just let me know. Otherwise, yeah, feel free to look around as much as you like. Let me know if you're curious about it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah,
Thank you.
for sure.
Thank you.
I'm just going to keep working on the start.
Then,
Yeah, so it's
Or
soldered. It's
soldered.
soldered, yeah. So they
is
would
it tin
use-
solder?
They would use tin and lead mixed together at the time.
Oh, okay.
They didn't know the dangers of lead, right? The
Of
toxicity
course,
of lead. But they would use a soldering iron in those days. It looked like this, right? So they would have a soldering stove. This would be the soldering iron. It would heat up in there. And then they would take the solder, right? The tin and lead mixed together. It would come in like a wire, kind of like it does today, or a
Yeah.
roll, right? And then they would run it along the seam, and it would melt down, and then, yeah, exactly, join those two seams together, just like we solder today, right? Just without electricity.